Just think, you are a human with one life, and it is up to you to make it the best life you can. Do it. Because YOLO.
Oh, sorry. So I've been studying, and it seems that YouTube has all sorts of ideas about what the meaning of life is. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos. Some of these videos, for one reason or another, become super duper popular and rise to the top of their search list. So I'm gonna take 3 or 4 of the top videos from the top of that list, all with over 1 million views, all super popular videos, trying to teach us what the meaning of life is. I'm gonna do my best to understand what they're teaching, understand where they're coming from, understand these people, and then I'm gonna try to boil it down into a nice little package and give it to you so I can teach you what they're telling us the meaning of life is. And then after that, we're gonna sit down together and we're gonna evaluate, is this idea an idea that we do or do not want to adopt as our own, right? Because that's the point of these videos, is to figure out what humans are here for, figure out what we're doing so that we can know the meaning of life, so that as we live our life, we know, what we're doing, what this is all about, and what we're here for. So this week I've been studying this guy. His name's Dan Howell. He's 28 years old. He lives in the UK. And this guy started a YouTube channel in the late 2000s called Dan Is Not On Fire. To date, he's got about 6.5 million subscribers. Funny guy, quirky personality. Check out his video where he roasts himself. It's super hilarious. In 2012, he posted a video entitled The Meaning of Life. And this video has 3.5 million views. It's one of the top viewed videos on YouTube about the meaning of life, and in it, Dan talks about his story and how he came to what he believes the meaning of life is. So here's what that video teaches. Hey internet, I've been meaning to record this video for a while, and you better do some brain exercises because I'm coming at you with something wordy and deep. YOLO. Here's the story. Basically, up until about a week ago, I was in a state of permanent... Wait, it ended. So, temporary, permanent, existential crisis. Basically, I couldn't function. I'd be pouring myself a glass of milk and I would think, what is milk? There is no purpose in pouring this milk. I have no meaning. My entire existence is rubbish. Then I would writhe around on the ground for a couple days until I could finally get up and do something productive, like email my dad, who didn't teach me the meaning of life. So what led to this? Take a step back. I was 17 years old. Like most of you, I was trying to decide what I was going to do with my life. My entire life, I loved acting and drama, but I thought nobody becomes an actor. So I looked at what all my friends were doing, and I thought, what's the furthest thing I could do from acting? I'll go to law school. Fast forward 2 years, I was covered in law books, and I hated my existence. Until one day I was sitting on my couch shooting up some fools on the PS4, and a Drake song came on, and all of a sudden I thought, you only live once. I am alive. I am a human. I better change everything in my life so that I can become happy. So I quit university. Don't judge me. That would make me unhappy. I can always go back to university, okay? This is not about me, this is about you. So what is the purpose of this video? You ready for something deep again? YOLO. You only live once. What a beautiful saying. So what is the meaning of life? To have sex with everything? No, but yes. To me, the meaning of life is to be happy. Do whatever you need to do to be happy. Don't drop out of college like me or quit your job. That would make you unhappy, and I don't want to be responsible for that because that would make me unhappy. So only do the things that make you happy in the future. Wait. We don't know what's going to make us happy in the future. So only do what makes you happy now, except don't blame me for any bad decisions you make because I'm saying this. Basically, you have one life, so live it up. There's no time for regrets. There's too much fun and joy out there, so grab it. Something is making you unhappy? Change it. You like that person at the library? You ask that. out. Go for it. Be sensible about the decisions you make. So don't just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy and is sensible and...
Just think, you are a human with one life, and it is up to you to make it the best life you can. Do it. Because YOLO.
That is all. I think I've been wanting to say that for a while. That was the worst British accent I've ever heard. Okay, here we go. Maybe that's the purpose. Okay, so I want to illustrate this idea of the meaning of life with a lemon. Okay, so let's say in this idea, this lemon is life. And the juice inside this lemon is happiness. And our purpose is to squeeze all of the juice, all of the happiness out of life. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a little sour, but it's good. And we just keep squeezing all of the happiness that we can out of life. And at first, there's a lot of juice in here. It's delicious, refreshing, feels good. But over time, the juice kind of runs out. And so we want some more of that happiness, so we gotta take other measures to get the juice out. Yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of juice. There's a little bit more juice, but it's running out still, so there's some more juice. Oh, there's some more juice. And our life is looking a little messed up at this point, but we still think there's some more. There's still some more juice in there to get out, so. But it's getting harder to get out, so we better. Do we get any more juice out of there? Oh, no. Oh, man. Our life looks pretty messed up. We got some happiness out of it. I mean, all the happiness, gosh. But look at our life. I think there still might be some in there. Okay, so that's the gist of what this idea teaches the meaning of life is. Now, anybody who has an idea about what the meaning of life is should put that idea on trial. They should be asking it at least these 4 questions. 1, who came up with this idea? What's the source? Where did this idea come from? And is this source a quality source for us to even listen to and base our entire life off of this meaning? Does this idea make you a better person? Does it make you a more virtuous person? Does it make you honorable? Does it make you proud to be yourself? Or does it drag you down as a person? Number 3, does it make the world a better place? Everybody's meaning of life should probably make the world a better place, right? Not drag the world down into darkness and pain and destruction. And number 4, does this idea fulfill? Does it bring meaning? Does it satisfy? Does it make our heart come alive like a meaning of life ought to? Okay, so let's talk about Dan Howell's idea. To be happy, to squeeze all the happiness out of this life. Number 1, what's the quality of this source? Okay, here's where I want to be careful. I have no hate, no disrespect for Dan Howell whatsoever. He seems like a good guy, but here's the thing. Dan Howell is just another young dude trying to figure out life. Dan, when he came up with this philosophy on the meaning of life, he was in pain. He was in a crisis. He was grasping for something to pull him out of this crisis that he was in, and he grasped onto this idea out here. So I'm not even gonna put this onto Dan. Let's see some other people who believe in this idea of what the meaning of life is. There's Drake. He thinks he coined the term YOLO. Newsflash, you didn't. I'm not even gonna go there. Drake is not a guy you wanna get your meaning of life from. There's the millions of college kids that believe in this idea of YOLO, so be happy. You could do things like this. I don't think that's a very quality source either. Or you could roll it all the way up to the United States Declaration of Independence that sets out 3 monumental statutes: light, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what the United States is founded on, right? The United States of America that has the highest rate of antidepressant use in the entire world. It's not working out for us. So that is not a valid source. Or maybe we can go all the way back to Adam and Eve, who sure thought they could do whatever they wanted to make them happy in the moment, and we all know how that ended for us all. So when it comes to the quality of this source, of this idea right here, I'm gonna give it, well, let's give it a 1.5 stars for the Declaration of Independence. Number 2, does this idea make you a better person? No, it doesn't make you a better person. It makes you a selfish person. It makes you a taker, not a giver. It makes you a consumer, not a contributor to society. It makes you careless. You see, the thing with this idea is that people will elevate power and comfort and pleasure as their means to get their end of happiness, because that's how all people think that we get happiness, is by taking a hold of power and comfort and pleasure. And so this idea is why so many divorces happen. 50% of marriages end in divorces because people are unhappy in their marriages, so that they have to change it, like Dan said. So they change it and they get a divorce, and it breaks up families, and it breaks up marriages, and it breaks up people, because we are seeking happiness. This idea is why affairs happen, and why people cheat on other people, and why people use prostitution, and why people are obsessed with pornography, because it's all these things that they think is going to make them happy in that moment. This idea is the reason there's so much consumer debt. Oh my gosh. People think that they need to buy all these things to make them happy without actually working hard to save up for those things. And so we all have mountains of consumer debt because we're seeking happiness. This idea is the reason that dads are fools, and they choose hobbies, and they choose everything else besides their kids and their wife and their family life, because they want to be happy, and they got to do what they need to do to be happy, and they push their family aside to get that thing. This idea is the reason for alcoholics and drug addicts, and it's how you get there, because you start off by just drinking a little bit, and then you get more and more, and it's not enough, and then you need more drugs and more alcohol, and you get hooked, you get addicted, and you get roped in because you are seeking your own happiness. This idea is the reason for obesity and laziness, because it makes you happy to eat, and so you want more food, and then it's not enough, so you need more and more and more food. Or you sit on the couch and play video games all dang day because you think it's making you happy, and it's not enough, and you're seeking for more and more and more. This idea does not make you a better person. This idea is definitely a 1 star in that category. Number 3, does this idea make the world a better place? Okay, this one is a yes and a no. Yes, because if you're talking about things like what Dan is talking about some in his video, where he's discussing vocation and your job and doing what makes you happy as far as following your passions and spending your life working towards something that you care about, that you love, that makes you happy and you're passionate about, that for sure makes the world a better place. If everybody was doing what they were passionate about, what they were made for, what makes them fulfilled and satisfied as far as their vocation goes, oh yeah, the world becomes a much better place in that regard. But when you take a step back, and while you're working in that job or the rest of your life, no way, this doesn't make the world a better place. Because this creates a bunch of selfish people just walking around and using everybody and everything in the world to make them happy. And when it doesn't make them happy anymore, they throw it away and they change it. And so they break families, they break marriages, they break other people, they harm people, they neglect people, they overlook people. It creates a bunch of people that take no responsibility because the things that are hard, that require sacrifice, that are painful, that are time-consuming and energy-consuming, they throw all those things away and shrug it off like that's somebody else's job because they're just doing them and they're seeking their own happiness, baby, because YOLO. There's no time for the things that are hard. That's why the world's so broken, because everybody's selfish, because everybody is seeking their own personal happiness as if nobody else's happiness around them matters. And so, given that, but considering the idea that if we were doing what we were passionate about and making us happy as far as our vocation, let's give this a 1.5 stars. Number 4, does this idea fulfill? Does it bring the satisfaction in our heart that we're all seeking and why we're even trying to figure out the meaning of life? Well, here's the tricky thing about this idea, is that at first, it seems like it's working, right? It's like we're going on this journey to find fulfillment in our life, and we come upon this treasure chest, right? And we open it up, and it's glorious, but it's just a bit of it. And it makes us long for more. And right above that it says, more happiness 1 mile down the road. And so you go on your journey, going, and you're trucking along seeking happiness. And then you get 1 mile down the road and it's like a little smaller treasure chest. And you open it up and it gives you a little bit more happiness. And it says, you want more happiness? Go 1 more mile down the road. And so you go another mile, trucking along. And you get to the end of that mile, and then it's just like a nugget of happiness. And it says, you want more happiness? 2 more miles down the road. And you keep going on and on this way, and you get like a little taste of happiness. But the further you go down this road, the further you have to go to get more happiness. And you find that the further you travel down this road, the returns for that travel become less and less and less. And it takes, some people do this your entire life, going down this journey to find happiness. And Dan himself is on this road, unfortunately. You can see he posted this video in 2012, and he's all fired up that this is the meaning of life. And then he posts some videos in 2018 where he's still searching. He's still trying to live his truth. He's still struggling with depression. He's still trying to find the happiness that he's going after. So he's going down this road and he's finding that it's dark and that it's hard and that it doesn't, in the end, satisfy. Thankfully for us, if you're willing to open your mind and listen to the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, it talks about this guy named Solomon who sets out at the beginning of the book to go on this journey, okay? He says he's going to basically go down this road. He's going to test everything in life that promises to give fulfillment, and he's going to see if he can find fulfillment and satisfaction in any of these things. And for some reason, God blessed him with the ability to go further down this road than anybody else around him could. He had so much sex and pleasure. He had like 700 women that he was either married to or was his prostitute. He was having so much sex, and you know what he said? It's meaningless. I've been down that road. He had so much wealth. He was the wealthiest man in the entire world. He had so much power. He had so much pleasure. He went down those roads to the fullest. And you know what he said when he got to the end? It's meaningless, guys. It's a chasing after wind. You're always seeking for the more happiness, the more, the next thing, the bigger. This guy had it all. He went as far down that road as you can possibly go. And you know what he found? He found a beat-up lemon pill. He found that his life was messed up. He found that his kingdom that he'd built was going to be stripped away from him. He found that there is no fulfillment to be found in these things that the world promises will make you happy. He's been down that road. He's been all the way to the end, and he's told us what's down there. So if we will listen to him, we can say, oh, okay. We don't need to go down that road either, because it'll take your entire life, man. If you subscribe to this idea, you'll be on that journey your entire life and you'll die unfulfilled, unsatisfied, wasting your entire existence trying to find a happiness that's not even there. So we'll give this definitely a 1 star in that category. So let's add it up. 5 stars out of 12. That's less than a 50%. In school, that'd be an F. That is not good enough for me when I'm trying to find what the meaning of life is. It probably shouldn't be good enough for you as well. If you think that my evaluation of this was off or wrong in some way, comment down below and let me know, because I would love to hear what you had to think. So Isaac, buddy, this idea of the meaning of life, it just doesn't work, man. It's just a trap. It just gives you a beat up lemon pill, and at the end of a road that we expected to find a lemon tree full of life and fulfillment, it just gives you the opposite. It makes you go down this journey and promises you things that never delivers, and you end up at the end of your life looking back at a wake of destruction because you used everybody and everything for your own happiness and satisfaction, and you never got there. So you're alone, you're not satisfied, you're not fulfilled, and it's a trap. It just doesn't work. So let's keep searching on YouTube, right, for some other ideas about what the meaning of life is, and see if we can come up with a better score than 5 stars out of 12. Let's keep going.
Guys, check out the other videos right over there and there. Hi there, how's your day? And press the subscribe button right up there. Blink, blink.
Comment below and tell us what you think. If you like that video, then smash that little button.
Share a video with your friends by pushing that share button right down there.